when you have to test something on a human, wouldn't want to say you just go straight to the prisons and make tests on them, because I mean everyone wants to say like, oh, and that's one thing I do. That's one thing I wanted to tack on too, is like every time someone does something, everyone wants to say take him to jail, take him to prison, blah blah blah. But if you've never even been in a courtroom in a negative way, you wouldn't know how that feels. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's not just like, oh, we're just gonna put some bad person here and that's it. Like jail is more than that, and in a way more negative way.
Yep. And we could even get into private prisons and how they have to have a quota of inmates.
Yeah. But before I get into that, I want to go back to the human touch subject though. I think, and you know, you could disagree with me, whatever, but I think that the best way you can make a human test subject would be, because you can trick people into being volunteers. It's been done since the beginning of time, of tricking someone to be a volunteer for anything, to be some kind of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe if you have someone on death, or like someone who's already has been found guilty and being convicted of a death penalty, they have to be a human touch subject. If they live, then let them live.
I mean, again,
that would be an easier way. Like if you're in prison for murdering an innocent person and you're getting to face death, and you've accepted the fact, oh shit, I'm about to fucking die. They're about to euthanize me or whatever, fucking put me in an electric chair, hang me, whatever.
Yeah.
Or you can come be a human test subject, and there's a 50-50 chance that you live, and you may not be able to be necessarily be a free man, but hell, you will at least live it, and you can spend the rest of your life in jail, or in prison.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, if there was a way to go about it, that would be the least, bad. I guess that'd be it, because these people are already going to die. But then it gets into, the whole legal system and how it's already kind of rigged, and people will find something wrong with that very quickly. Is my point.
But how?
Well, they shouldn't be killing people anyway, because the legal, the people on death row all the time that shouldn't be there for crimes they didn't commit. Like, somebody's always going to bring up some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And in my opinion, this is a very utopian type of statement I'm about to make, but natural law is there for a reason. Meaning you will get handled when your time has come to get handled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't even need man's law on paper. In reality, if people respected people as people, we wouldn't need man's law. But then again, we wouldn't be under the state of coercion. We wouldn't be, required to pay taxes. We wouldn't be, voting. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, all the shit we've been talking about. Like that wouldn't be a thing. There would be no government. There would just be small. There would probably just be small communities of people who live within a whatever mile radius of each other, working amongst themselves and making sure that they are good themselves.
Yeah.
But in today's world, like, that's just not possible. Yeah. So it's only going to go one way, and that's down the shitter, if you ask me. I feel like, I mean, this is me being cynical. I'm really not that cynical in real life. This is real life, but I mean, I just don't see a positive outcome for humanity at this point, man. Like, I really don't. And the thing that gets me is people, ever since all this LGBT gay shit, like all this, feminism shit is popping off, like people think that we're actually making steps forward, and we're just keep going backwards and backwards. And nobody fucking gets it.
Yeah.
Like people don't like women have had rights. Women have rights.
We're stopping children from being born. We're putting unnatural shit in our bodies as humans overall, which I think is going to eventually affect our reproductive system.
It already has been. I would argue it already has been.
we're not only poisoning our bodies physically, but we're poisoning our minds, our souls, our morals.
Yep. We're more and more cut off spiritually than we've ever been.
The more that we, and like we said last week, the more sensitive we get, the more desensitized we get.
Yep.
Yep. I think we're going to get to a point, like what I said just now with morals. Like we're going to get to a point where our morals are going to be burned away, and we're literally going to have. There's some people walking around here with no morals. I mean, there's all this different. Like you have to be so aware, but you're still so unaware. Like.
That's a great way to put it, man.
If I were to say that to someone who does not live in America, they would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But even they might even know what the shit they see from America, on TV or wherever they get their source, whatever source they get their shit from. I think that we, as not even just as a country, as a world, as a planet, we're going to see our demise sooner than we think. You're talking about climate change. You're talking about wars.
Yep.
You're talking about people fighting over dumb shit.
Fighting over literal non-issues. Like, yeah. I'm not sorry. There are more important things that are happening to us than whether or not you can marry somebody that's the same sex as you or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's way more detrimental shit going on. But this is what people focus on because they feel a certain way about it. They can touch it. You know what I'm saying? The real shit that's really damaging humanity, that is just a byproduct of. But people can't figure that shit out.
Yeah.
And they probably never will. It'll be too late, and then they'll be like, "Oh shit." So you mean to tell me? Oh shit.
Yes, we're over here. Yeah. We had our turned over to the left, and over on the right, such and such was happening, and now we can't. Now we literally can't do such and such. Now we literally can't go such and where. Like,
yeah.
All this shit has happened before our eyes, and like someone like me, where I just continue to search to see, all right, what's changing, what's gonna change, what has already changed, where can I go if I wanted to, go on vacation or something, like what can I do? Do they take the U.S. dollar? Because you never know now. Not in this day and age. You have to look that shit up now.
Yep. That's true. I mean,
I'll be able to turn back to the U.S. if I go such and such. Like you never fucking know. I think now it's more dangerous for your average, someone in their 20s, for average adult period. I think it's more dangerous now. Like I watched the last Purge that came out, but it's called The First Purge.
Oh, okay. The last one I saw was the one where it was like the State of the Union or whatever, like the presidential themed one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the one before the last one.
Okay.
I watched the last one, or the newest one, I should say. I don't think it's gonna be the last one. And it's called The First Purge, and it's like super. It's telling. It really is. Like you just have to see it, and then we'll talk about it one time.
I'm down.
I definitely recommend you watching that one. But I watched it the other day. This is about maybe a couple weeks ago. And
would you watch it on by chance?
It's super weird. I watched it on Amazon Video. I have the Apple.
Okay, I'm gonna look there tonight and see if I can watch it.
You have to pay for it. It's like $3 or something like that. Like for but when you watch it, you're sitting there and you're like, man, they're putting all this shit in place. Like this could really happen in America. The Purge, because they justified it so well in the movie, and you're like, huh. Not too far off of what is actually happening in this country alone in 2019.
Yeah.
If they wanted to, they could very well get away with the Purge.
Yeah.
I know that sounds, and I'm not trying to sound evil or anything like that, but that's literally what I think.
But hey, could you say we're purging ourselves? Because you can't reproduce if men are marrying men and women are marrying women. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I mean, we kill ourselves off, huh?
In a way.
What do you mean in a way?
No,
it would take somebody.
No, I'm saying in a way that's a purge. Like,
yeah.
In a way. Yeah.
AKA eugenics. You know what I mean?
Because now you have.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You said now you have something.
I was saying, like, now you have, like what you were saying, now you have, men, a lot of men wanting to be turned to women. You have, and you have the suicide rate going up for the men who do want to become women and the women who do want to become men.
Yep.
So that already is knocking off, the future of humanity, period. You have, again, men marrying men, women marrying women. You have this whole, I'm a strong woman, and and women are strong. Not saying they aren't. They are. They're one of the strongest human beings on planet Earth. Without women, there wouldn't be men. Without men, there wouldn't be women. But to a certain extent, it's like if you're 40 years old running around saying, I don't need kids, and I can do this all by myself. And then by the time you're 50, you're like, oh shit, I don't have kids. I barely have friends, and what do I do? And there's more women than you think are like that, and there's also more men than you think that are like that. So when you have a society that's really not, and I'm not saying that they should be promoting like, oh, go ahead and make babies and stuff. Like you do what you want. You do what you want to do. But at the same time, when you have a society promoting literally the complete opposite of, settling down and having a family in your like 30s or 40s, and it's like, hey, you can still be 30 and 40 and get that nice Tinder date,
or just having a healthy male-female relationship. Period. Like that's not even cool anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's cooler to bash women and cooler to bash men, and cooler to take dick up the butt than it is to actually like for women to play their part and for men to play their part. Because no matter what the fuck anybody says, men and women have natural roles that aren't societally based. They are based from you being born a woman and being born a man.
Yep.
And that'll never. You can pump all the drugs. You can cut off all the body parts. You know what I'm saying? You can take all the hormones you fucking want to take or need to do. But at the end of the day, if you were born a woman, that means a certain set of things that's undeniable. And if you were born a man, that means a certain set of things that are undeniable. And the more we get these, these quote unquote strong women, these quote unquote, men who want nothing to do with women, like it just makes everything worse. Yeah. It makes everything a lot fucking worse. And then you throw in, everybody's gay or bisexual or don't want kids and, want to be trans. I was born a man, I want to be a woman. I was born a woman, I want to be a man because I think that I feel differently because of what society is telling me that I should probably maybe feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you throw all that shit in the mix, man, and it's no wonder that everybody's fucked up, man. Nobody wonder what to think. Nobody knows what they are, and that's the real source of the problem. And then you got parents encouraging their children to be whatever gender you want to be. You're 6 years old, you can figure it out.
No,
you got actors, you got pop stars, you got these quote unquote influential people raising their kids as different genders and what they are. Just to be like, just to reinforce the notion that it's okay because Charlize Theron is raising her little boy as a girl. That's working out so well for her. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne Wade is raising his little boy as a girl. It's okay. It's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Or look at, Cher started it all. Chaz Bono. Look at that.
Yeah, dude.
And the whole, I don't even want to get in the whole Bruce Jenner thing.
We ain't even got this motherfucker, Bruce Jenner. Yeah, don't even get me started on that shit, bro. But when you fuck with the Kardashians, man, like when you sign that deal, you sign your life away. You literally like this thing. These people, they are the boots on the ground for agendas. That's all actors are. That's all sports. That's all sports. What do you call them? Figures are. They are boots on the ground for agendas because they have huge platforms and they're influential, and people value their opinion over other people's opinion, even though their opinion could be completely shit. So if you got something, if you're the government, you got something you want to push, we all know.
And if it's not according to plan, they're gonna boot your ass out.
Then you're getting Me Too'd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're getting booted out the league. You're getting a pay cut. You know what I'm saying?
Because Kaepernick did what he did, and they were like, somebody cut the camera. Somebody, he shouldn't be doing that. And we see where he sees.
Yeah, but I also think Kaepernick is also pushing an agenda for the black community. It's a different story. I think Kaepernick's doing exactly what the fuck he's supposed to be doing, because why else would he have gotten that $60 million payout?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Again, that's just my cynical view of pop stars, sports figures, anything mainstream and popular. They are pushing something. It's impossible for them not to.
And I mean, if you really want to go back to the Kardashians, I mean, look, all right. They didn't know what they had with the Kardashians. They saw the whole Kim K thing, and they saw the notoriety that they got. They saw all the publicity that whole family got, and they were like, oh, now we have something. They're like, all these agendas, not all of them, but 90% of these agendas that we have, oh, yes.
Yep.
Now we have a family.
Yep.
We have America's family.
Yep.
That we can push all this shit on.
Yep.
You see every man that came into that family got fucked up. Every man that was born into that family fucked up.
We went from the Cosbys and the Cleavers to the Kardashians and T.I. and Tiny. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck happened to this fucking place? You know what I'm saying?
The Tanners in there too with the Cosbys.
Yeah. We had Boy Meets World.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Shows that actually taught you how to be good human beings and actually showed conflict and resolution within an episode. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It was real shit. That shit's gone, bro. That's just gone.
Yeah.
Where men had a strong role, women had a strong role. They bounced off each other. They cohabitated. That's all gone, bro. They don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
That's just out the window, bro.
And with that, like you look at what Bruce Jenner did. They're like, oh, I mean, if you think about the time around that time where Bruce Jenner was like, oh, I think I'm a woman and all this other bullshit. Around that time, that was the same time when all this, transgender stuff was going on, whatever. Where they were like, oh, now we can put this on a pedestal too, and now we can put this other gender on a pedestal too. So, which is why he actually really left. I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah, and of course, they said he was doing, he was binging on crack and all kinds of shit and went crazy and loco. He didn't do any of that.
Yeah, and I mean, either way, his explanation, like his reasoning, is still, it's justifiable. It's reasonable. It's believable. However, if you literally think about it, damn, was that really worth leaving $50 million? I don't know about that.
If you really want to know what happened to Dave Chappelle, look up the interview inside the actor's studio with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Watch that interview, and he will tell you exactly what the fuck happened.
Mm-hmm.
And why he left.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to know. He says everything that we're just saying here. Yeah. And this is somebody who's experienced it.
Yeah.
Just watch that interview for the people out there listening. Inside the actor studio with Dave Chappelle. Watch that interview.
Yeah. That's one with the old dude with the glasses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that one too. That was that shit's old. But yeah.
It's old, but it's good.
Yeah, because if you watch that one, but then you go and watch the Oprah one, and you go watch his interview that he had with, I want to say it was Hot 97. He had two totally different answers, and that's where I was like, man, maybe that shit about his dad was kind of right, man.
Yeah.
But man, like it's getting out of control, because now you look at the influence now. You're talking about these rappers that are getting money, that like ridiculous money for little to no talent. And I know we talk about this all the time, but they're getting little to no. I mean, they have little to no talent. They're getting so much money, and you're like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how is this happening? Because they're putting up this sort of image that, you know, they all have pretty much the same trait, which is not trait, but the same description: face tats, long hair, colorful hair,
tight pants.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that where I will say this, I feel like our generation kind of contributed to it, but not really. What we have in common is that we were growing up, and especially me, this ties back into the growing up black and Virginia thing. It's where I was always looked at differently once people found out that I listened to rock.
Oh, same here.
The different rock bands that I listen to, I mean, are the same. Again, going back to the running us running so they could walk kind of thing. Where I love using that. I love using that, but in case you didn't notice. But it's true. We got made fun of so the next generation could grow up and have that influence their work. But now it's gotten to the point where it's like, man, do you really want these? Like, I mean, you're talking about like, guys like Lil Pump, the excess tentacles guy, whatever his name was.
XXXTentacion.
Yeah, whatever. And so like all these Lils and stuff like that, like the ones that have like really shitty music, but their influence were like My Chemical Romance, the Linkin Parks, the Breaking Benjamins, the Sum 41s of the world. And you're like, man, like, okay, now it's looked as, I wasn't the only black kid listening to that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, man, shouldn't you just go into rock? But again, there's no money. You have to actually be talented. It's kind of fucked up for me to say, but you actually have to be talented to be.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You have to be more talented in rock than you do rap. And also, there's not as much money in rock than there is rap. At least it seems like.
Yeah, unless you're, one of those bands that's been around for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
But then again, the music scene and acquiring talent was way different back in the day than it is now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and you look at rock bands, there are a lot of rock bands that they have to go on tour to make it into the next year, to keep their house, to do this, to do that.
Seriously.
But when you're a rapper, I watched 2 different interviews. Well, it was about 4 interviews last week of rappers, because I want to see, like, I love, now I'm like in this mindset of like studying into like a whole bunch of different shit that I'm interested in. I just do it nonstop now. But I watched like 4 different interviews last week. One was like Lil Pump, another one was like, one was the guy that died last year, Pete, whatever. But they were saying that they made so much money in their first year after like their breakout video or their breakout song.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have to work ever again, but they went on tour and did this. But then you look at their lifestyle. If you can save money, if you don't spend your money on dumb shit, you can make 1-hit song nowadays. That's a rap song. Go on tour once and never be heard from them again and live great.
Yeah. If you know how to handle your shit.
Crazy.
But I don't think music deals go like that anymore though, because part of that is you have to keep pushing agendas at the end of the day. It might not be with your lyrics, but it could be with your closing, could be with your image.
If you sign a record label.
If you sign to a major label, yes.
A lot of people now are trying to go independent.
But is independent really independent anymore? Was it ever really independent?
I don't know too much about.
The only rapper that I know who was truly independent is Currency.
I know a lot on the label side. Wale's independent.
Okay.
But again,
he wasn't.
But yeah, again, he was tied into the whole. A lot of these rappers now are. I'm pretty sure. What's his name? That fucking guy's name. Fuck, I can't think of it right now. Chance the Rapper. He's independent. But like, there's a lot of rappers now that are trying to go independent because the labels are screwing them. I haven't seen. Of course, nobody's gonna say it like on air, like, "Oh, this certain label wants me to push this certain agenda." Like, nobody's that dumb to say that on air. At least while they're still signed to the label, and even after the label, they'll probably still get sued if they were to ever mention that on recording. But I do believe that is another key reason of why artists in general want to go independent or want to stay independent. It's because they don't, once you get signed to a label, you're a slave. Period.
You're a slave's slave because when you live in America, you're a fucking slave. So on top of that, you're even more of a slave signing yourself to a fucking record label.
Yeah, you're a slave. You're just a slave on a podium. Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, man. The demise of humanity, I feel like, is upon us, man.
Yeah.
It's some deep shit when you really think about it. But to me, this is shit that I've seen and I've realized for like the past 10 years. So to me, this is nothing. It's nothing new or scary or shocking. It's just a reality.
It's been about 5 or 6 for me. So.
But I mean, I put you on, and if I was bullshitting, you'd have been the first one to tell me I was bullshitting.
Yes, absolutely.
Clearly, motherfuckers is not bullshitting.
I was so against it to begin with. I was like, dude, you're full of shit.
I told this motherfucker not to go into the military in high school.
You're crazy.
For the very same reasons that he ended up leaving the military.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, that's a whole different can of worms. So.
Yeah, that's a totally different can of worms. But again, like, just looking, man, I wish Adam was here only because I want to reiterate what he was saying, like what I was trying to tell him last week, where like, we aren't the special ones. I don't believe that this is the first time in human existence that we're going through this, where human life is like, whoa, hold up, we've gone too far.
I don't think so either, man.
And then
it sure as fuck feels like it, but
yeah, and you have the majority. That's only because we're living in this time now. But think about it. 2,000 years. Let's say the world is not even millions and millions of years old. Who's to say that we didn't have all this technology millions of years ago, and the world was wiped away and then started again, and then now we have to sit again, and it's like, okay, let's see if you guys are doing this differently. Let's see if this goes differently. Nope. All right, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like I cannot imagine living this life and not getting another one. It sucks.
Yeah, man, because you hope that it's going to be this amazing thing and you want it to be the best that it can be, but maybe this is the best that it can be, which is quite honestly some shit. Like, yeah, you can slave away, making literal chump change compared to the people with the real money in this world, and what do you get for it? You get a fucking gay son because fucking that's what's cool. That's what's popping in schools and shit nowadays. So you can't even carry on your fucking legacy that you worked for because your son's been influenced to like boys or something, or
again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's
nothing wrong with that at all.
But
in the grand scheme of humanity, there kind of is, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, we're walking.
We might get backlash for that, but honestly, you cannot sit here and tell me that you can reproduce having sex with the same sex. You can't.
No.
You can't sit here and say that.
No,
I'm not saying that I hate gay people, because that's not the case. I have gay friends. They're, you know what I'm saying? That's like, and people say, oh, that's equivalent of you being a racist, saying, well, I've got black friends. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But literally, like, I have nothing against gay people, but that doesn't help society.
No.
That doesn't help further society. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say.
But who's to say, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, it's not what I believe, but who's to say that if your son grows up to be an asshole or a piece of shit, gets some chick pregnant, who's to say that
that's also not helping society? You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. That's no better. That's no better. You know? Like, at the end of the day, it comes down to care, to love, in its purest sense.
Yeah. But we don't have that anymore. That's we don't.
No, we don't. We don't have that anymore, man.
And you want to know what's the selling point of the I'm not even gonna try to say it, but being like gay or bi or trans or whatever. The selling point is nonviolent. You look at all these different things, and that's the selling point.
Okay.
That's the selling point. And it took me a while to realize that, but I'm like, okay, Black Lives Matter. Okay, people could say they're a cult or whatever because of such and such and such. Or they can say that they're, somewhat, some people go to the extreme. I've literally heard people in person try and tell me that Black Lives Matter is a gang, and I'm like, I can see where it coming from.
You could argue with that. You could definitely argue that, especially when you have a billionaire white guy funding a supposed minority movement. But anyway.
But that wouldn't define gang, though. But when you look at, and then you look at Blue Lives Matter, the same thing. The same thing where it's like, that's not something I can fully, that's not something me as a black man can fully get behind. It's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. That's not something that me as a 26-year-old black man that I personally can fully support. I'm not going to support.
And I'm with you on that.
I'm not going to support Blue Lives Matter. I have personal relationships, or I'm personally tied to both, if that makes sense. But at the same time, you look at the LGBT community stuff, and that's the selling point. It's like, oh, they're peaceful. Oh, they just want equality. They just want this. And the same thing with the women's movement. They just want equality. Except women want more than equality. They want to be more than men. They want men to feel lesser than. And
yes.
That's what our era is headed to now, where it's like,
yes,
men are lesser than. If you're not this, that, or that, you're lesser than. And I saw where one of my friends from Blue Ridge, I was hanging out. I didn't really hang out with him back home at all, but when we were there, we were friends, whatever. And then I saw him on Instagram. And well, let me start over. We didn't hang out or anything, but he and I kind of had like some similarities where it was like, okay, yeah, we're having a hard time talking to chicks or whatever because of the generation that we live in. Whatever, chicks and shit, whatever. But then I get on Instagram. I haven't seen this dude in like a year, so I get on Instagram, and I saw one of his posts, and this dude came out, and I'm like, dude, a year ago you were straight as hell.
Oh
like,
man, wow.
You were like literally complaining because chicks didn't. I'm like, bro, like to me it feels like this dude gave up because the way chicks
that's what it seems like.
And I'm like, and I don't want to be that person to say, oh, he just gave up because that's what chicks are. But at the same time, it's like in the back of my head, I'm like, man, this dude got so up from chicks. That's when I had to take a step back. Was like, man, dude, you can't.
That's a slippery slope, bro.
And you can't fucking.
It's a slippery slope.
Like, to a point, yes, we need women, but at the same time, it's like, man, like you don't want to do everything you can just to get, a woman, because then you'll just get the wrong woman.
Yeah.
Like at the same time.
And women won't respect you for doing everything you can to get a woman. They respect you for doing everything you can to get shit for yourself.
Yeah.
Real women want to be a part of something great.
Yeah.
They want to be beside a man who's got initiative, who's got the plan.
Not in front of him, not behind him.
Not in front of him, not behind him, beside him. That's the point. This isn't a dick measuring contest between men and women. It's not supposed to be that. They have, like I said earlier, they have things that they're really fucking good at that men suck at, and men have things that we're really fucking good at that women suck at.
Yeah, but that's the rate that women are going to now. Is that this is a
they're trying to just be good at everything, and you can't fucking do it.
And now you have some men who are like, oh, well, I'm just gonna turn into a woman, and then I'm gonna go do MMA, or I'm gonna go do tennis, or I'm gonna go do golf or whatever, but all in the women's.
Yeah, dude. That's all. Yeah, dude. Fuck.
You know.
I mean, like, for example, is those two or three trans athletes that still had fucking nut sacks, mind you. You could see it through the fucking the singlets that they were wearing. Still had nut sacks, running in women's races, and smashed all of them.
Yeah.
Came first and second in every event, smashed all the women. If I was a woman, I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
If I was a woman, I would be more mad at today's society than I am as a man. I'm gonna keep it 100. If I was a real woman, a feminine woman, I would be more pissed than I am now as a man. Straight up.
Why is that?
Because your nature is being perverted. Your true nature and your true power as a human being is being perverted.
So,
dude, without sounding fucking like crazy sexist, like, look, all right, women are good at specific things. They're the nurturers. They are the caretakers. They are the glue that holds a household, a society together, right?
Yeah.
These women are trying to be men who are the providers, who are the hunters, the gatherers, the go-getters. Not saying women can't be go-getters, but this is traditionally what men do and have done, and you could even argue naturally what men do and have done, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm a natural feminine woman, all I want in life is a real man to stand beside. I want to help this man. I want to be this man's rock. I want to be the glue that keeps him going. I want to be who he comes home to at night and is like, babe, I had a rough day. Like, I need, you know what I'm saying? I need you to, I need some love. I need, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kept everything so nice for me. You know what I mean? Like, you, like I said, without sounding sexist, like, but really, like, this is the shit that men appreciate. And this is why they keep these women around. And it's trying to be turned into a bad thing, and it's not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying women can't go ahead and get jobs. I'm not saying women can't go ahead and do, you know what I'm saying, do manual labor and be CEOs and all this shit. But it comes to a certain point where you lose your natural touch with what you're put on this earth to do.
Yeah.
And if I'm a woman and all these other women are trying to be, you know what I'm saying, they're trying to be Superman, Superwoman, they're trying to be a CEO, and they're trying to be the goddamn, you know what I'm saying, the president of the United States and all this other shit.
But here's the thing. I want to say, is it our job to draw that line? No.
No, the line was naturally drawn, and we're scribbling it off, dude. That's what I'm saying.
No. I know exactly. I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that because I say this all the time. You say it all the time too. And like we have very same ideas in terms of that. But I'm really starting to think, because I had to step back for a second and be like, okay, like, who lets them know that, hey, this is that line? Like, if you're a woman,
your parents, bro,
and you're told, and like, what do you tell? But what is a parent supposed to tell their daughter that they can and can't do something?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Like, imagine having a daughter, wanting her to am I breaking up?
Yeah, you were a little bit. You're good now.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine having a daughter and her wanting to be a CEO. Imagine her wanting to be, an athlete. Who are you to say that they can't do that? Now, it's another thing for them to say, "Oh, I'm better than a man at what a man is naturally supposed to do." That is when the problem occurs.
But hear me out. CEOs, heads of companies, have a specific mindset, which is traditionally a masculine mindset. That's all I'm saying. You like owning, it's one thing to own a business.
Yeah.
As a woman, because that's cool. But when it comes to when it comes to these huge it's really hard for me to explain right now. But when it comes to there's this weird threshold between losing what it means to be a woman and being the overpowering kind of asshole man that everybody hates, men and women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That line just gets really blurred when women start to it's almost like out of spite they just want to be better than men because men have quote unquote been better than them for so long, when really that's not the case.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that's not the case because that was my reasoning for the longest time, and I got caught on my bullshit by a female not too long ago because I told her my personal experience, and she told me all right. So I told her that my personal experience was every time I've had a female, out of all the females that I've had that have been, that have had power over me, in terms of jobs or school, whatever, they've all been on power trips except for one. And I was like, I believe, I just have a preference of having a male as my boss. And she called me on my bullshit, and she's like, she's one of the people that says, "Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that," but whatever. She's like, you can't really say that because, that's just like saying "Oh, I've dated black guys for so long, and only one treated me right." And I'm like, okay, I kind of get you're going at, get it, but at the same time, it's like there's a I don't want to say stigma, but there's always this mindset that I have where it's like every time a woman gets into power, it's like that dude that was always bullied his entire life.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and he finally gets power, and now he just fucks everything up because he's in power.
Yeah.
And take advantage of it.
Yeah. And again, women naturally want to be led. That's why they like men who take initiative and take charge. That's why when you're a man who doesn't do that, they don't want to fuck with you. And if they do, it's so that they can walk all over you.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that women can't be CEOs and can't be this and can't be in these positions of power, but that's not what they naturally do and what they naturally gravitate towards. It's a perversion. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I grew up around a shit ton of women. I got 2 sisters, no brothers, and the only fucking old people that are still alive in my family are women, for the most part. And they all generally act the same, which is feminine.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest one in my family, and I'm now that my father's passed, I'm the one that's relied on to take care of a lot of the shit that he used to take care of. Because that's all they know as women is, okay, I need somebody, I need some direction. And it's not even that women can't direct themselves. It's about certain things that are in the man's realm of what he does naturally. It's really fucking hard to explain, but you can see it play out if you just sit back and look. You know what I'm saying?
Like a woman does A, B, C, D, but as a man, you gotta take care of E.
Yeah, exactly. D, E, F, G, H. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Let me tell you something. If I wasn't the type of man that
I was going to say, I know exactly what you're saying. I was trying to play devil's advocate.
Oh, I know. I get you. But I'm glad you were, because then it just gave me a chance to explain my position a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. If I wasn't the type of man that I was, I would not have the girlfriend that I have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or if I did, I'd be getting cheated on and walked all over. And who's to say I'm not? Because then again, in the day, it's a woman. But then again, who you know, I've gotten to where I am due to self-improvement and really learning what it's like to be a man, to be a actual traditional man. And I found an actual traditional woman who wants that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Craves that, needs that, because it makes her better and me better.
Yeah. And that's what you need. And not just as human beings, but for a healthy relationship. You need to both grow. You need to both each other out. Like, she's not just supposed to help you, you're supposed to help her too. You're not supposed to help her, she's supposed to help you too. And that's the way it goes. Like, and I think that's not just in health, that's not even just a healthy relationship, that's just being a fucking human being. And having a relationship around you, whether it's, a son and a mom, a son and a dad, brother and sister, brother and brother, sister and sister, just a friend, period. Yeah. Humans are we are built to help each other. Now the whole dynamic as being a human has been shifted and turned around, going through the sewer. The entire purpose of being a human now has been dipped in shit. Morals have been dipped in shit. Yeah. And now it's not, hey, let's help each other.
Now it's let's one up each other. Let's
one up each other. You look out for yourself. Like, we live in a world where we have to look out for ourselves. Like, I think the whole lesson for tonight's episode is just taking a step back, because that's what I've been doing for a while now. It's like taking a step back and looking, and I'm like, man, I'm really out here. Like, I have to live my life looking out for only myself, at least until I make it, until I become successful in whatever it is I want to become successful in. And it's like, it sucks for me not wanting to help out the person next to me, or help out the person on the other side of me, or, I see someone that needs help, or someone that I can help advise. And I'm like, you know what? I got to get my own shit. I'm looking out for myself. That's the way we have to live, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
We have to look out for ourselves. We can only help with so much. We can only help so much.
Yeah, it used to be where you could help out and you could still do all right for yourself. But now it's like, dog, like, I can't even help you out because I got this, and this to worry about now.
Or I got screwed,
Or I got screwed, yeah.
Personally, I've dealt with where I've been screwed too many times by people where I've either somewhat trusted or trusted a lot. It doesn't really matter. Like, I got screwed, and that's my reasoning for I'm only looking out for me now. Like, I'm only doing what I need to do to get to the next level, or to get to the next step, because I gotta make it on my own, And unfortunately, there's no way that the human dynamic was built on that. There's no way we were built as humans to just, you just fend for yourselves, pretty much, or you guys try and prove who's better. There's no way we were made that way. Yeah. And if it were, it's extremely hard to believe.
Yeah, man. I mean, we could sit here and talk about this male-female dynamic all fucking night. At the end of the day, it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. And in our opinions, which are based on fact, we could, who knows, we could end up getting bashed tomorrow about what the fuck we said on here tonight, And at the end of the day, we're probably not popular enough for that even really to matter.
Yeah, we're not.
But at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, because...
Again, we're not saying this to be malicious at all. We're saying this just because we want everyone's eyes be open. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a cult or anything, but you literally have to open your eyes to see what's going on in our world, what's going on in our country, what's going on in your town, in your own city.
Exactly.
You know? Like, we grew up in a town where there were less than 20,000 people in it.
Yeah,
and then
literally.
Now, and me moving into the city, I have all these different new experiences. I experience something new at least every month where I'm like, wow, that's a thing. Wow, that's a thing. Like, this is how the world gets. This is how the world is. This is how, because you're around a lot more people than just you small little town where every time you go to the grocery store, every time you go to gas station,
you see the same fucking people. Yeah.
You have the same exact conversation, And now we're adults, and now we have somewhat a little, where we have a little bit of experience or a lot of experience in being around people and being, and just having conversations and stuff like that, and being vocal and social about stuff. It's not like we would be crazy to have that mindset to be like, oh, let's just bash everyone. Let's just, fuck this and fuck that, blah, 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 blah. And believe me, I have my days where I'm like, fuck this and fuck that. I think
everybody does, man.
But at the same time, we're not doing this shit to do this. We're doing this shit to say, hey, open up your eyes, look and see what's around you, look and see what is happening and what they're doing. Because it might sound crazy now, but I guarantee you, from hell, tomorrow there could be a new fucking law. Tomorrow there could be a new requirement for us as U.S. citizens to do something, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, they were right. Oh shit, Adam was right. Yeah. Oh shit, Jim was right. Oh shit, Corn was right. Like,
I mean, it's unfortunately it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, and I've been saying this since probably 2012, man. Like, it's going to happen in our lifetime, man.
Yeah.
It's just all happening way too fast for it not to.
Yeah. Where they're going to put chips in our license plates when we go and register our shit, it's going to be countrywide. Or whether they're going to have us standing in line to take a required pill, or whether we're going to be required to wear cameras on our, put cameras in our eyes or whatever.
We already got that. We got Google Glass. You got your camera right there in your glasses, man. You got real ID coming. You can't even travel in the country without having a real ID anymore. You can't fly a plane from state to state without having a real ID. You got insurance companies like State Farm, Safe Driving Program. Yeah, keep your GPS on your phone and put this Bluetooth tracking device in your car, and you get discounts on your insurance.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I did with that Bluetooth device? You don't want to. I can't say what I did to it on. I had a black Jordan piece of shit because I got it in the mail. And I was like, what is it? So I called him, and you know how much I hate having a phone call with anybody. So if I call somebody, it's important. So I called him, and I was like, what is this? What is this for? And you're like, oh, well, what you do is you hook it up, you put it in your car, you hook it up to your phone with your Bluetooth device, or you connect it to Bluetooth, and it tracks your speed limit, your travel, like everything. And then if you're considered a quote unquote safe driver, you get about 15% off of your monthly bill every month. After we, survey your shit after like I think 90 days of shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so you want me to hook this shit up in my car, and you tell me everywhere I go, okay, got it, thanks. I was like, I'll pay the extra $50. I'm fine with that, dude. I destroyed the fuck out of that thing. I like pissed on it. I shitted on it. I was like, y'all can kick my ass.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I got one in the mail actually today. That's what made me think about it. But that joint's gonna get. I live in the woods, man. So that joint's gonna get fucking hit with a baseball bat somewhere. Fucking flung somewhere. I don't know, man. Actually, I shouldn't litter with it, so I'll probably just end up throwing it in the trash. But which would probably still end up getting littered. So who the fuck really knows? But but yeah, man. I mean, anything else you want to say, man? We wrap for about an hour and a half. Like anything else you want to touch on, man, before we close this thing off? These people probably like, man, these niggas are crazy. But I'll tell you what, we're not crazy. We call it like we see it, man. And that's all we ever can do here on the Contemporary Comrades podcast. You know,
I'll be honest, I'm a little crazy, but
hey, man, it's 2019, man. Embrace the crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's 2019. You can embrace a lot of shit.
You can embrace whatever you want to embrace. Hell, you can. Yeah, you know, another funny thing that just someone throw this out here. So we all know what happened to Bill Cosby, right? I don't need to go over that.
Yeah.
So how can Cardi B do the same thing and get love for it? I just wanted to ask that question. How can Cardi B drug men and get no backlash from anybody?
I cannot wait for us to release this episode because one of the people that listen to this episode, to our podcast every week, argued with me last week about this subject.
Oh, really?
She said she tried to be like every other person that was defending Cardi B and tried to say that what Cardi B did was not the same thing as Bill Cosby. So
answer me that.
So I had to answer her this. I said, did you watch the audio or did you watch the video of her saying from back then when she was doing this shit, when she said that hey ladies, if your man ever cheats on you, make sure you drug him, pretty much, like put something in his drink. And she went through like the whole process, like put something in his drink, basically drug him, have him fall asleep, and rob him. That's number 2, rob him, and then have a trainee come in and fuck him. That's what she said.
Wow.
While he sleeps, obviously. So then I turned to her and I said to the girl who's arguing, I'm not going to say her name, but I'm sure she doesn't mind me talking about this on here. And I turned to her and asked her, I was like, so you were saying Bill Cosby wasn't doing the same thing as? She's like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, see, that's the thing. Like, and I don't think that was like super. Somebody put it out there, but I don't think many people know that she released that video. Like, this is wild shit. This is like way back when she was doing that.
Well, that's because nobody is supposed to know that she did that. Because that doesn't fit the agenda. Again.
Yeah.
What we've been saying all fucking night.
But even still, drugging someone and robbing them I still look at that as, okay, maybe we didn't like violate them physically, but you kind of did because you drugged them.
It's still theft, whether you stole sex or you stole money. It's still theft.
But it's
still a sin.
You still put drugs in their system.
Without them knowing.
And who's to say, especially with a man, who's to say whether he did or didn't do anything?
Exactly.
Why? Because he's a man? And I listened to a couple of podcasts where they talked about a situation. And every podcast where I heard them talk about a situation, they did not talk about it in a serious manner. They were like, oh yeah, that's what happens in New York. That's what New York strippers do.
What?
What? Are you kidding me? That's what New York, because I already knew that was a thing. I've never been like an avid, strip club goer, but I know strippers have always been sketchy. I always notice strippers when they say, hey, let's go back to my place, let's do this, let's do that. 9 times out of 10,
it's just to get more money. Yeah.
You get set up in some sort of way, whether somebody's waiting for you when you get to the place, or whether they're going to knock you out, or whether they're going to steal your shit while you're in the bathroom. Who knows? 9 times out of 10, you're getting set up. But to go on a platform and to be serious about shit that doesn't matter, and for you to build and I'm not going to say the podcast who they were. You can ask me after recording, but I'm not going to put them out there like that. But to be serious on your podcast about stuff that doesn't matter and to build your platform on stuff that doesn't necessarily classify as serious stuff, and you're making money off of that, but then when something actually as serious as drugging someone and robbing them comes up, and you want to joke about it because maybe it's because of female or because she's a New York stripper or stripper period, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's cool.
No, I don't either.
You know?
And again, you know, there's no continuity with what's wrong and with what's right.
And I will say this: no man came out and said that they were drugged by fire, and I think maybe that's why nothing happened.
What man would? That's not what men do.
Ooh, I never thought about that either.
That's why Terry Crews got clowned. Dude touched his dick. Harvey Weinstein touched his dick, and he got clowned for coming out about it. It's like, nigga, why don't you just beat his ass? And why don't you do, you know what I'm saying? That's not what men do.
You know, he usually killed Terry Crews.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have.
Men, we handle things differently.
Did that come back and bite us in the ass as men because Terry Crews came out and got clowned? So now nobody's gonna come out with the whole Cardi thing because
I mean, no, but I mean, who wants to come out and say, oh yeah, I was at the strip club and I went back to the stripper's house. He drugged me and took my money. Like, who really wants to come out? Well, what man wants to come out?
Don't forget the most important detail. Possibly gotten raped by a trainee.
Yeah. Yeah. No man wants to admit that. Let's be honest here. Men have a hell of a lot more of an ego when it comes to shit like that than women do.
Yeah.
Women have a big ego too, but it usually involves how they're viewed or by a man or what it relates to a man in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man, we're gonna leave y'all with them nuggets for tonight, man. I'm tapped out on bitching for now. I think bitching and educating and you know, the main message we want to leave y'all with is basically just step back and look at everything from a bird's eye view, man. Just take yourself out of the left-right paradigm. Take yourself out of the gay-straight paradigm. Take yourself out of, you know what I'm saying, the male-female paradigm. Just step out and look at it for what it is, you know, and you'll be able to figure a lot of shit out, man, that you didn't figure out before. You know, check out some shit that you might think that you didn't like, and then you check it out and you might like it. Like, I'm the type of motherfucker, I'll research Satanism. I spent months researching Satanism because I wanted to understand what it was.
Yeah. Because
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm on that type of shit. Like, I'll research anything to get a better perspective on life based on what this one thing that I'm told to hate is. And granted, Satanism ain't what motherfuckers think it is, okay? Let's just put that there. If I start talking about that, it'd be a whole nother 30 minutes. So we'll just leave that alone. But step out of your comfort zone, man. Like, you motherfuckers out here, like, start looking at shit that you didn't think you would like. If you were quote unquote on the left, read some quote unquote right shit. Some alt-right shit, you know what I'm saying?
Because the worst thing you can do is to stand for something and stand against something, but not know what you're standing against.
Not know what you're standing against, which is the majority of these motherfuckers out here is what they do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then when you ask them, they just bring up like arbitrary fucking news outlets and what they said, which is basically the same thing as their side of the story. You know, it gets really bad. It gets really bad.
Bring up quotes from a quote unquote leader. So
yeah. I don't know, man. You got any final words, bro?
Yeah, don't pump your kids full of hormones. I said that a couple months ago here on the podcast. Don't do it. I watched a video today where they reiterated that.
Look, cook your own food.
Yeah.
Don't feed your kids McDonald's 4 times a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And don't eat Chick-fil-A twice a week like I do.
Or yeah, exactly. Cook your own food, man. Start a garden if you can. You can do hydroponics inside of your apartment complex if you ain't got no land. You can grow fruit and vegetables using water in your own shit. Look it up. Get some fish, use their waste to then feed your plants, grow it, eat it, and recycle it back into the fish for food. This shit, you know what I'm saying? There's multiple solutions that are present in society for almost every single issue that we named tonight. But nobody wants to fucking do it because it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah. Another thing, one last thing, do your research.
Do your fucking research.
I've got a couple things in the works for my own personal. I know I say this every time, but I promise you guys I do. I'm not just sitting on my ass not doing shit. I am half the time, but most of the other half of the time I'm actually like researching shit. I got my own conspiracy. I don't want to use the word conspiracy, but theory episodes coming out within the next month. So
hey, if you don't look out for them, we're gonna repost them here on the Contemporary Comrades podcast. So and just in case y'all don't have Shadow Bundles podcast on your favorites list, first off, put that on your favorites list. Second off, they're gonna be reposted here on the Contemporary Comrades podcast. So just look out for that as well.
Yeah, sure.
I might fuck around and hop on there with some of these other niggas. You know, just you never know. You never know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, do your research. Don't pump your kids full of hormones. You know what I'm saying? Think about things from a deeper perspective. Think about things from a bird's eye view. Oh, and that fuck with us, man. We just want to shout y'all out. What's that?
Shout out to Financial.
Yeah, man. You might know who it is, but shout out Financial, man. Financial Learning 407. Yeah, shout out to them, man. But yeah, everybody that supported us, Coconut Tree Films, TV Rays 86, Chris Rodriguez.
Oh, that dude was my
Mr. 5. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all you folks, man.
Coconut Tree, the dude from the Coconut Tree, he used to be my Lyft driver, or he was my Lyft driver like twice before when I didn't have a car. So glad you're still listening.
Word. Yeah, and also shout out to the homie Jimmy Bryant, who is now Jimmy Eldridge, if you will, on SoundCloud. He's got some big things in the works, so make sure y'all follow Jimmy Eldridge.
Yes.
SoundCloud, man.
Too, man.
He's still listening. He's still making music. He's just doing some shit behind the scenes. He's upgrading his equipment. You know, so keep on the lookout for him as well.
Jimmy, we haven't forgot about having you. Adam and I haven't forgot about having you on my podcast as well for discussing Marvel. So
it's going to go down, man. They just probably wait on this movie to come out on Thursday. What's it? Infinity War. What's the one coming out now? Endgame. Right. Endgame. How fitting. We could also go. All right, man. I'm gonna shut the fuck up, man. We could go into these dystopian fucking movie themes and titles in this dystopian world we live in. Different story for a different podcast for a different day. But look, Contemporary Comrades signing out. Peace and chicken grease. All right.
Peace out.